Hi y'all, I'm Melissa. Welcome to my channel. Oh my word, Melly. Today I'm going to talk about the ever famous New York Times bestseller since 2017, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. The book and the movie as a combination. So this book is my very first book jar pick and the first book I read for this year, and I couldn't be more thrilled about it. I love this book. I mean it, I love this book. And this book is something very personal to me, and I had an unbreakable connection with it right throughout the book. So stay tuned and find out why I love this book and why I say there is a personal connection with it. So Angie Thomas is an American author who grew up witnessing drug dealing and gun crime, and The Hate You Give is a debut novel by her and also is an expansion of a short story she wrote in college as a reaction to the police shooting of Oscar Grant in 2009. So this book revolves around the Black Lives Matter movement and police brutality against black people, and is largely inspired by Tupac's tattoo and explanation of thug life. So according to Tupac, thug life means the hate you gave or give little infants F's everyone. So the main protagonist of this book is a 16-year-old black girl named Star, who is the only eyewitness of a white police shooting which ended up leading to the murder of her best friend, which also leaves Star emotionally scarred and pushed into a full-on media whirlwind. Like, this 16-year-old has to go so much just because she was the eyewitness of a white police shooting. The Hate You Give captures the struggles of Star trying to find her voice to stand up against this police brutality, to stand up for justice for her best friend. The plot follows her while she faces interrogations, police harassments, media wanting to know what happened, the events that took place that led to her best friend Khalil's murder, then threats to her and her family's life, and even a grand jury where she is fighting for freedom of speech, fighting for her best friend's life, for justice for her best friend, and not only her best friend but for everyone who was oppressed. Star, her two brothers, Sevan and Sekani, and her parents live in a very underprivileged, predominantly black neighborhood. The author explains or describes the neighborhood as a ghetto, such a neighborhood which is ruled by drug lords, thugs, drug addicts, then gangs, murders and shooting on a regular basis. For someone who has not lived in such a violent community or such a underprivileged community, I just can't imagine how people actually go through these events on a daily basis. It's really, I can't even imagine it. Anyway, back to the story. She and her brothers attend a private school in a wealthy and white neighborhood, which also pushes Star to having to portray two different personalities in order to avoid any racial discrimination in either neighborhood. In this book, it's seen that in her, where she lives in that neighborhood, everyone bugs her or annoys her, saying okay, now she's turning white because she's going to a white school. And even at school, she tries her best to fit in and not have any discriminations because she's from a ghetto. So she struggles with not wanting those two lives to clash together as well. Oh my word, this book had me in tears, in heartbreak. It's really sad that these things are real, they actually happen. That racism due to skin tones and religious beliefs are prominent across countries right throughout the world. It's so sad that racism clouds the judgment of people, and what they don't realize is no matter what skin tone you are, like whether you are dark or fair, or what religion or faith you believe in, like it's sad that they don't realize that irrespective of any of those, that we are all human and we were brought into this world to do good to the world and then to depart. So likewise, many topics of racism were discussed throughout this book, and one such topic which resonates on a very personal level with me is where friends can be racist as well, where nothing but racism matters more than the friendship they had. Such an encounter, such a subject is captured between Star and her friend Haley. So Haley used to throw around racist jokes or like just hint at racism at Star being black, and when Star finally couldn't deal with it anymore and confronted Haley, Haley was so obnoxious and like self-righteous, and like she was like, no, I was just joking, that's not racism. She didn't even want to accept it, and that's really sad after being friends for so long. People like Haley really irritate me. Joke or no joke, they are blinded by their own crimes. People like Haley think that people like Star or me, as a matter of fact, should not get offended because, but they were just jokes, they were just racist puns. But what they don't realize is we are humans, we have feelings, and those feelings get hurt. Haley just didn't even want to apologize to Star. She would rather be a racist than be there for her friend who was going through such a difficult time. So another speciality of this storyline is Angie Thomas has been able to beautifully capture the relationship between the family, the importance of family, the relationships between the parents and the children, between the siblings, between friends and even neighbors. Like it was so beautiful. Like I have not seen this a lot in other books, but in this, family, friends, relatives and neighbors were important. The community was important. Another thing why I love this book is like Angie has been able to keep it so real with the lingo. Like she has adapted to the culture. Like have you seen in movies where like even if you have watched this movie, you will see like they keep it to that lingo of that subculture, like the slang, the songs, then the way they have the food, the way they describe food, the way they describe everything. Like that's what kept this book so real, because it was true. Like it showed authenticity through and through. So like I said, this video is not only about the book, but I also watched the movie right after I read the book, and I have to highly recommend y'all recommend that y'all watch it as well. The movie adaptation just justified and validated the entire book. Like it just completed it. Like that's like the top coat of a cake. If this was the crumb coat, that's the top coat. There were differences in the like significant differences between the book and the movies. So the book starts with the party and the shooting of Khalil. But the movie starts with where Star's parents have seated them down when they were small, like if Star's younger brother was just a toddler, like, and where Star's father Big Marv is giving them the talk about how they should act if police stop them, where they should keep their hands wide open and obey. In the book, they finally decide this is no place for a child to grow up in or children to grow up in, so they do move into a better community where it's safer. But in the movie, they decided to omit that entire scene, and it's like prominently said that they are not leaving the community, that they are going to stick around in the community. So I don't know why that difference was there. So from the book and the movie, I actually like the book. The main reason for that is I thought there was a very important part in the book which wasn't there in the movie, and that's where towards like the latter part of the book there is a riot that goes on fighting for justice for black people, for Khalil, and Star's white boyfriend Chris stands by Star and Seven throughout this riot, which I thought was a really good representation of the white community who are not racist, to show that there are people from this community who are not racist and who are against racism, and they do believe that these people are human too. So I thought that was a very stronghold. But in the movie, like Chris just goes with Star's friend Kenya and the friend's sister Lyric, just goes to drop them to secure them from the riot, and does not return to the riot to stand by Star like in the book, which I thought was really disappointing in the movie, because I did want that stronghold to be depicted in the movie as well. Also, there was a scene in the movie that was not at all in the book, and that's where Star's youngest brother Sakani takes hold of a gun and points it towards a drug lord who tried to kill Star and Seven. And the movie starts revolving around Star's thoughts at that time, where Star clearly starts realizing the meaning of thug life. It resonates, that it shows that all this hatred, the violence, the ganging, the murdering, the shooting, police brutality, how it affects that little infant, Star's youngest brother, and how if he pulled that trigger, it would have ruined his life and that everyone's life. So it clearly revolves around explaining it more about thug life. Though it wasn't in the book, I really liked that part of the movie. It was so justifying, it was so raw, the emotions, the thought process, everything was just so surreal. So I know y'all were expecting some spoilers, because in my previous book review or thoughts on my book video, I did do a spoiler for Life and Death, but actually I'm not going to do any spoilers for this book. I'm not even going to reveal what happens in the main plot of this book. I won't, because that's something y'all have to discover for yourself. That's what gives gravity to this book. Towards the ending of this book, they mention actual people, real people, many black lives that were lost due to police brutality. I'm going to take my phone now because I have the list of names on the phone. I'm not going to mention all the names mentioned towards the end. I'm just going to mention a few, and that is Oscar Grant, Ayanna Jones, Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, and Tamir Rice. There were some names. If y'all can see my screen, like I am showing y'all the pictures of those victims with their ages mentioned. Out of all the books that I have read in my entire life, there was no ending as powerful as this. And to see that so many lives were lost just because they were black. That really got me really emotional, and as a person or as a victim of racism due to my faith, I have such a personal connection with this book, and it was really hard reading it, really hard to see that there are people who are victimized by it and the repercussions of it. But still, okay. So this is a conversation between Star and her mother, where Star tells her mother that she is scared about facing the jury to talk about Khalil's murder again. But her mother says, "Brave doesn't mean you are not scared, Star," she says. "It means you go on even though you are scared, and you are doing that." Those words really hit me. Brave doesn't mean we are not scared. It means even though we are scared, we push through. So that is something everyone who is oppressed, everyone who is a victim of racism should live by. Stand for what is right. If you are wrong, please accept that you are wrong. That is also bravery. These are some of the things you should take away from this storyline, this plot, this movie. And I'm so thankful to Angie Thomas for putting her thoughts into words and giving it to a wider audience. This video was really hard for me to film without crying or getting more emotional. No one but someone from the receiving end of racism will understand the gravity of this book. Even if you have not gone through such a scenario, I recommend that you read this book, watch the movie, because everyone should realize what words, actions can do to other people. I hope you enjoyed this video and my thoughts on this story, on the book, the movie, the storyline. Sorry if this video was long and if it was a topic that y'all don't like talking, but it is a topic that I believe that people should talk about. It's activism, and I'm not saying I'm an activist or I'm against it. I'm just saying these are topics everyone should talk about. And as always, y'all can find my Goodreads and Instagram handles in the description box down below. So just hit me up, let's get talking. And here is me signing off for this week. And until I see you in my next video, bye from Oh My Word, Millie.